Hi friends, it's Miss Drywa. So today for science, we're going to be focusing on a particular landform. We're going to be talking about volcanoes. Now, volcanoes are pretty cool because they're actually a mountain, which is another landform, but they have a hole in top, and that opening allows for rocks and lava and ashes to come out of it. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today and focus more just on volcanoes. So let's get started. So, how volcanoes change the earth. So remember, our whole topic here for the week is the earth's surface. And sometimes, in the case of like volcanoes and even earthquakes, the surface can change because of these landforms or these natural disasters that happen. A volcano erupting, a lot is going to come out of that. We have lava, which will burn things, and rocks and ashes, and sometimes that can change how the earth looks. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So before we even get started, I have my, I'm going to move my down real quick. I have my glossary. Remember, this tells us words and what they mean, words that we might not know, definitions. So a volcano is a mountain formed by hardened lava with an opening through which lava, ashes, rocks, and other materials may come out. So basically, like we learned on Monday, it's a mountain with an opening on top so lava, rocks, and ashes can come out. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So, how volcanoes change the earth. So, the surface of the earth is always changing. Some of these changes happen slowly over time. Other changes happen quickly. For example, an erupting volcano changes the earth quickly. So that just means, friends, that like the surface of the earth, what we see, the grass, the ground, the trees, all the different landforms that we know, that we see, they can change over time slowly or very quickly. In the case of a erupting volcano, that just means a volcano that is active and has lava coming out and the smoke and the ashes and the rocks. That's erupting. That means that it is all that stuff we just said, lava, rock, it's coming out of the volcano. That can change what the earth looks like very quickly because it happens very fast. And like I said, that lava can burn things in its path. Look at the pictures and read to find out about some of these changes. Then match the pictures on the next page to the drawings of volcanoes below. So we're going to look at that little by little. Okay, so I'm going to move myself over here. Okay, so an active volcano. Magma forms when heat and pressure melt rocks inside the earth. Volcanoes form when heat and gases cause pressure to build up under the surface of the earth. When enough pressure builds up, the magma forces its way up through weak spots called vents. Then the magma breaks through the surface of the earth. Magma that flows onto the earth's surface is called lava. The lava cools and hardens, forming a mountain called a volcano. So, this is how a volcano is made. So magma forms when heat and pressure melt rocks inside the earth. So it's all the heat and the pressure from the earth is melt the rocks, and eventually those melted rocks have the heat and the gases, and they all build up until they come to the surface and they break through. And the lava then hardens and causes a mountain, which is a volcano. So let's look at the picture. I know that's a lot and that's a little hard to understand. So let's look at the picture they have here. So if we look here, this is under the earth right here. And this is all like heat and gases built up. It's very, very hot, friends. And as it builds up, it starts to rise up. And you can see it breaks off here and goes through a vent, an opening. Just like we have vents in our house, there are openings to let the heat come out, or maybe even the air to come out. Same thing here. It's a little opening and it comes out and it slides down because we know gravity brings everything down. And eventually when it hardens, it'll be a mountain or a volcano because a volcano is actually a mountain, right, with an opening. So all the heat and gases that are built up here, like I said, they get hot, they rise up, they come through a vent, and then they harden on the surface to cause a mountain, which will then be a volcano. Now we have a violent eruption. Sometimes a volcano erupts with such force that part of the volcanic mountain may be blown to pieces. Rock, volcanic ash, and lava may spread over a wide area. So again, look at this picture. So a violent eruption. So when it comes up, sometimes like here, it's dangerous, but it's not very, very dangerous. It has, it looks a little contained, right? There's no rocks flying everywhere. I wouldn't call this image violent. Now, violent over here, meaning it's very, very dangerous, friends. The rocks are flying. You have lava going everywhere. It's burning everything. You have all the smoke and the ashes, right? It's very intense. Then below, we have a dormant volcano. A dormant volcano is one that is sleeping. It hasn't erupted in recent times. Inside the mountain may be building up pressure that will someday release. So if you look here, you don't have anything coming out the top. That's the eruption. The eruption is what you see coming out of the top. In this case, we don't have it erupting. There's nothing coming out. I do see some pressure down here building, just like in my other ones. But here, it erupted. It's not violent, but it's still active, meaning it's moving, it's working, right? When we're in gym, we say we have to be active, we have to be moving and working. Same thing here. It's active. This one is very active, dangerously active. It's very active that it's kind of dangerous. And then my friend over here is sleeping. He's not very dangerous. And maybe one day he will erupt, meaning the stuff will come out of him, the lava, the rocks. But right now he's not. He's sleeping. So I don't want to spend too much time of your time, friends. So let's keep going. So now we have this volcano. Now, Mount Arenal. So Mount Arenal is an active volcano in Costa Rica. After being dormant for many years, Arenal erupted in 1968. Lava has been flowing ever since. The most recent eruption of Arenal took place in 1984. The volcano is 1,633 meters high. So now, friends, looking at this volcano, I want you to think, is this volcano either just active, or we have violent, or we have dormant? So remember, we have active, which is like, yeah, some lava's coming out, some smoke, not too dangerous, but violent is very dangerous. And we have dormant, which is sleeping. Keep that in mind, because we're going to have other ones we're going to compare to. Now we have Mount St. Helens. Over 100 years, Mount St. Helens was dormant. However, in 1980, the volcano erupted violently. As a result, part of the mountain that has been built up by earlier volcanic activity was blown away. Mount St. Helens is now 400 meters shorter than it was before the 1980 eruption. Now, comparing the two pictures, I would say that this volcano is very violent, where this one is just active. And then we have Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier, the highest peak of the Cascade Range in Washington, is a dormant volcano. This peak was formed by a volcano that erupted and built up the mountain. This volcano is now covered by 41 glaciers that cap the peak and extend down the slopes. Some scientists think the Mount Rainier is likely to erupt again. Well, this one is dormant, friends. It's sleeping. It's not erupting at all. I don't see any smoke. I don't see any lava coming out. So we have a dormant volcano. We have our active volcano, and then we have our violent volcano. All right, fun fact, friends. I actually saw this volcano in Costa Rica from a very, very far distance. Pretty cool. All right, friends, so I know this was a long video. Good job listening. I'm very proud of you. Today we're going to talk about volcanoes and the different types of volcanoes and how they can change our Earth's surface through our near pod. Okay? Have a great day.